أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Inshallah, today we will continue our journey with Musa alayhi salam. A very quick recap of the past two discussions. So we started, this is from Surah Al-Qasas, we started with verse 14, and we were analyzing the majority of the surah or the story in the light of this verse, which was saying, when he reached full age and was firmly established, we bestowed on him wisdom and knowledge. And we were reading the rest of the story as how he is given wisdom and knowledge. The revelation still didn't start coming yet, but events in life were how he was being taught wisdom and knowledge. And then a few verses that I would like to highlight to recap last week's discussion. So in the first episode of his journey, he was unintentionally killing a person, or he was pushing someone and the guy was died. And he was leaving that city, the Egypt, in fear. And then he was saying, Rabbi najjini min al-qawmi al-zalimin, O my sustainer, deliver me or save me from the wrongdoing folk. I'm going to show two more verses, and we are going to see a common pattern among those verses. But he comes to this point. Let's see what happened from 14 to 21. He was raised in a palace as if like a prince. So he's coming from this highly elevated position and now finding himself to be like not necessarily expelled, but escaping from that place. So he is escaping from that place. And now he is by himself. Not only by himself, but he is with his sustainer. So he is getting isolated from everybody else, from all the strength, all the sources of power and whatnot. And now he is saying, Rabbi najjini min al-qawmi al-zalimin, O my sustainer, save me from the wrongdoing people. We need to look into this in our lives as well. That's why I would like to highlight this. Then in the next verse, right after this one, وَلَمَّا تَوَجَّهَ تِلْقَاءَ مَدْيَنَ, now that he escaped from his previous society, now he is turning his face towards Madian. Like this is something to think about in our lives. When I leave what used to be the source of strength and power in my perception initially for one way or another, for whatever reason. Another thing that we observe here was he is in a journey. Now he is literally in a journey. And in this journey, again, he goes back to the same source. Like this is a journey, this is a path that he is in. And again, he is being together with his Lord, with his sustainer. That's something to highlight. Because this person is coming from crowds. He is coming from elite of the elite. And now he is at a position that he is by himself. He's turning back to himself. And then there was a scene that we studied last week. He was helping two girls. After this scene, when we come to verse 24, again, after he watered their animals, again he goes back to a shadow. فقال ربي إني لما أنزلت إلي من خير فقير. So he watered their animal for them, and when he withdrew into the shade and prayed, O my sustainer, verily in dire need am I of any good which you may bestow upon me. So among all these verses, the common thing, a few common things that I would like to highlight is first, he is on a journey. Second, he started the journey in his safe haven, if you like, in the palace, source of power, strength. But then he find himself to be alone, but he turned back to his sustainer. That's the key part. He is in a journey towards his Rabb. This is a very important part, because as in here, especially in the last verse, for example, he briefly dealt with these two girls to help their animals and whatnot, but he again withdraws to the shade of a tree. Like again, loneliness is there. In the life of Prophet ﷺ, he was withdrawing from society to the cave. This is when his Rabb started responding to him. And again, at the very first revelation, it was Iqra bi ismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. It was not Iqra bi ismi rabbil alameen. It was rabbika. So you were searching for your sustainer, and now your sustainer speaks back to you. So that is a repeating pattern, like verse after verse, and we will see more of it actually. So journey, and in this journey, who is your friend, and what is the goal of the journey? The goal of the journey is to find your sustainer, because you already left what you thought was sustaining you. The Egyptian society was sustaining him, and he already left it. I mean, not necessarily, not willingly in this case, actually. He was going to get murdered by them, so he had to escape the society. In this case, we should turn back and ask ourselves, what does this mean in my case? What is it that I felt like either pushed away or had to move away from and start a journey? Maybe not as a dramatic shift in our lives, but I think we might consider just adolescence being such a shift that we are opening our eyes to a new world, which was different than our childhood. Now you need to start picking up your own responsibilities and whatnot. Like your parents have been a protection for you for so many years. But now, especially I guess in modern times with moving for college and whatnot, moving out of the family, it is some sort of I mean, not as drastic as what's going on with Musa alayhi salam's life, but it's a move away from your safe haven. But in this journey, are we taking Musa alayhi salam's approach? This is the question. Like in this journey, whom do I consider as my companion in this road? And whom do I seek for in this journey? Musa alayhi salam, in all these three occasions, and it's just verse number 21, 22, 24, like right after one after the other, is always turning back to his sustainer. So, and I would like to highlight that all of these are referring to Rabbi, 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 my Lord, my Lord, my Lord. Like having this personal relationship with my sustainer. I am being sustained. I must have a sustainer, and I'm talking to that sustainer. This relationship. So I will move on from here. This was the intro. Oh, by the way, one last comment about last week's discussion. So in this journey, in last week, where did we come upon? There was this family life that appeared. Like it was part of the journey. He didn't get into this environment to find a proper spouse. This was not even, he was just escaping something, like in his journey. But the thing was, he, as if the creator put these two girls before his path, and then he was given a choice among the two of them. Because sometimes we feel like I choose among many other options out there. No, the creator puts some limited option before you and you choose among them. But the question is, whom is going to be put before you? This was not Musa alayhi salam's goal. Musa alayhi salam was seeking his Lord. So he set his orientation and the creator put someone before him in this journey. because this is an inevitable part of the journey, like, I mean, almost inevitable, because family is your sort of introduction to social life from the most atomic part of social life. But because we were having a conversation, and Brother Bikram highlighted that. So once you orient yourself, then your creator is going to put someone before you. And since you become a certain person, then you will make choices accordingly. So this is why, first and foremost, going back to last week's discussion as well, check who you are. Before trying to find who my spouse is going to be, who are you? And what is your goal? What is your journey? And also, as we are learning from Musa alayhi salam, ask from your sustainer to give you a proper friend in this journey, a companion in this journey. This is what we can take from this story. And the creator, like, there were many details in this story which we can apply to our lives. But I think this is, in a nutshell, how I would summarize up to here, up until this point. And starting from verse 29, now Musa alayhi salam will get onto a journey with his family. Still, the journey continues. Yes.
Salam alaikum. But maybe one detail that attract my attention for the first time. When he started the journey, even the way he started the journey, it's not his choice, right? Like, he finds himself in a bad situation, hardship, and then starts his journey this way, but he uses this opportunity to remind himself that it is my Lord will guide me. So when we think about, the journey, it's usually, a bit romantic, right? We decide to leave everything behind us. We are so rich, maybe a tech entrepreneur, leaving everything behind, all the startups, everything, and saying that, you know what, I will live in, I don't know, another luxury place, but with less technology.
Nepal.
Yes. But I will, of course, buy a huge house there. Anyway, so we imagine that we will leave everything behind by choice, because we will become a pious person. We will say, okay, from now on, I will only think about my Lord, etc. So this is a prophet, and it's not like that for him. So I'm not saying that, such decisions are bad, but do not try to postpone such decisions. In your life, you will find yourself in hardship, always. Like, you will graduate from your PhD, the program, and you will need to move somewhere else. Not because, you said, okay, I will devote myself to my creator, because your creator will push you. You will start moving. I guess the point is, when you start taking the steps, what is your decision now? Like, he didn't start his journey to become a more pious person, because he was part of a killings, and then he had to run. That was the reason. But what he did, he said, okay, this is my journey, and I will use this as my opportunity, as an opportunity to return my face to my Lord. And whatever happens after that, it will be my Lord guiding me. Even when you do something bad, or even when it is not your choice, this, the change in your life, use it as an opportunity to start a journey.
And then, in the light of what you just said, Asa Rabbi Ayyahdiyani Sawa Sabil becomes a very sweet supplication, because he is saying that it is hoped that, it is expected that, like, this is how he knows his creator. Like, Asa Rabbi, the Lord that I know would do as such type of a language. it may well be that my sustainer will guide me onto the right path. So his expectation is again from his Lord, because sometimes things happen so much so that you have really zero control over it. It might be physical circumstances. It might be just some other person's feelings. Like, how do you change somebody's heart? That person wants you to be this way, you want to be that way, or you ended up being that way, whatever. How do you change that person's heart? How do you fix that? So, but taking the journey and saying that my sustainer is going to make the path straight. Like, so it's going to be a smooth, equal, balanced path. So now that we are here, any comments from you? Any comments, questions? Very good. Okay. So فلما قضى موسى الأجل وسار بأهله آنس من جانب الطور نارا. And when Moses had fulfilled his term, this referring back to last week's discussion, he had an agreement with his father-in-law for 8 to 10 years. Once this is done, and he was journeying with his family. So now the journey continues, but now the journey continues with his family. He perceived a fire on the slope of a mountain. Slope of the mountain. So it's not a mountain, it's a the mountain. So there's the place. Some translators were simply mentioning it as Mount Sinai. قال لأهلهم كثوا إني آنست نارا لعلي آتيكم منها بخبر أو جذوة من النار لعلكم تصطلون. He said to his family, wait here. Behold, I perceive a fire. Perhaps I may bring you from there some news or a burning brand from the fire so that you might warm yourselves. This is Surah Al-Qasas, verse 29. I would like to mention another part of the same story from a different surah. The focus is changing, but just wanted to bring the commonalities rather than fixing differences at this point. And this is from Surah Taha. إذ رأى نارا فقال لأهلهم كثوا إني آنست نارا لعلي آتيكم منها بقبس أو أجد على النار هدى. When he saw a fire, he said to his family, wait here, for I have perceived a fire. Perhaps I can bring you a torch from it, or find some guidance at the fire. Okay, so these two are more or less talking about the same thing with different verbs. So let's talk about them. Sara bi ahlihi. So this was the first thing that attracted my attention here. He continues the journey, but now with his family. So family became the part of the journey now. If you go back to last week's discussion, like the alignment part of it, like how do I orient myself so that I'm going to be given options accordingly. And we are going to see another example of this eventually in next week or the week after, when he's going to ask for his brother to be given as a helper for him in his journey after prophethood. Like his journey will continue, and he will ask for helpers in this journey. At this point, it was like he continues his journey with his family. But again, in here, some loneliness kicks in. Like he is having the journey with his family, but then once he sees a fire, he says, you guys wait here. Because if we just get into the story a little bit, since fire is being perceived, I imagine that it's nighttime. And because in nighttime, you can see fire better. But it's nighttime, it must be relatively cold as well. So you are seeing fire from far. This is why he says, let me go and bring a piece of fire or a torch. Both words are used. And also, maybe I will bring some news from there or guidance from there. So these are the things that he is seeking for. But when he says this to the family, he says, you guys wait here. To me, this sounds similar to what he has done before with, he was alone when he was leaving Egypt. He was alone when he withdrew under this tree. Now he is again going to the fire by himself. And he was alone when he was speaking with his Rabb in the three examples that we saw before. Now, for a fourth time, he is withdrawing to go to the fire, but he is saying to the family, stay here. What shall we make out of this? Like, why imkuthu, wait here to the family? Why is this? I mean, definitely we are together in the journey, but when it comes to a certain thing, it is being mentioned as, you wait here. We'll go and check for it. And what could this mean for us?
Danger, for example, if the person leaves far and there's some kind of danger, they're like, this area for now seems safe. Let me leave my family here because they will be safe here, and then I'll go and check out the circumstances that were there and maybe bring some help or find out what is going on.
So he's going to explore the unknown.
Yeah.
But then going to explore the unknown, he is saying that, family, you wait here, I will go and get it.
Yeah.
But in my journey, what does this represent? Like, I'm seeking for light. I'm seeking for warmth, news, or guidance. And then to the family, I'm saying that you wait here, I will go and grab it myself to see what is there. Yeah.
How do I know certain situations if I'm in the position of Musa alayhi salam, where I'm seeking it versus where I'm part of the family, I guess, and I am waiting for someone else to bring news?
Can we say that there is a part of you that represents Musa alayhi salam in here? This is why the story is being told to you. And then in my life, as the journey happens, now that I left Median, because he started in Egypt, he got educated in Median for 8 to 10 years, and now he is leaving Median to another destination. In this second journey, it might be that initially you left your own college life. Now you are living college life, going to another destination. And still you're looking for warm guidance in the darkness. In our life, this tends to happen. Or it might be that you were living a student life and now you're moving into a family life, which is another journey. And the transition is not super smooth many of the times, right? There are going to be new adjustments needed to be made and whatnot. Or you were living a family life, now you have kids. It's another journey from point A to point B, and there are going to be a lot of new things in this journey. So in there, I'm really looking for fire, but or guidance, something to hold myself to find guidance for myself and for my family as well. But having this personal experiment or personal, again, I'm going to take it back to how Prophet ﷺ used to go to the cave by himself. So am I having in my life those moments of withdrawal to be with my sustainer, because it looks like Musa ﷺ was never away from his sustainer. But in those special moments, which we will see in a second, he will directly have a conversation with his Prophet, which will again going to be the case with this burning bush as well. But there's something shiny, like fire in the darkness, but you're not sure what it is. As you approach it, you're going to have a conversation with your Lord on this burning bush. So in my life, there are going to be such moments. And then I experiment with it. I'm hopefully getting to there, trying to understand what it is. But while doing this, how shall I approach it? What should be am I going to learn something from it? Or it's going to be an occasion in which I'm going to ask my Lord again. Because Musa alayhi salam's sustainer will speak through the fire in this case. This is where his sustainer will speak to him. My sustainer speaking to me. Like, can you guys, do you remember a time where your sustainer spoke to you? Like sometimes events happen in life and we say, oh, God tells me that this is blah, 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 blah. Like something happens and you extract a message out of the event, right? So you read into event and you say that, oh, Allah tells me that this and that. But this is our general usage of the term. Let's specify it a little more. My sustainer tells me through this event that, and read into the event. Because it might be that something like in the darkness, I mean, I'm just trying to throwing it as an idea. You can please help me with that. Applying for a job, there's some potential job somewhere. Like in your darkness, you feel like this is some sort of a fire. But if I take it totally worldly, what will I look at? The salary, what's it? Work environment, work culture, this and that. Right? This is what I will try to get out of this. But if I go into this by putting my social ties behind and try to see my sustainer's message in this occasion, like look at it in the greater scheme of my journey, not necessarily my worldly gains.
Like, for example, how will that opportunity help me grow?
Grow in what sense?
Like grow in spiritual sense and also in more worldly sense as well. Like what kind of abilities, be more independent and more self-sufficient. Like only like when you break those, so like in terms of like leaving the family behind, it kind of also reduce your dependence on them and you have to rely more on the Lord. And then you also grow more like spiritually you have growth, you also have more worldly growth. Like now you know that Allah is a provider and you will be fine even if things go wrong.
Okay, let's open this up because I count some words there, but there are also some words which were more like self-development type of wording in there. Because like if I go to our career center, they would also say similar words. Let's try to distinguish them so that it's not going to sound like improve your worldly life, also in spiritual life. Because it looks like Musa alayhi salam had a single life. Like life was life. But there were no secular separations such as like 8 to 5, worldly life, afterwards spiritual life, maybe not as a separation. But how could it be that I'm going to see my sustainer's guidance, warmth in the event? Because job environment, how warm could it become? Like capitalism is trying to suck all the milk out of you, and once you're old enough, they're going to kick you out.
Maybe with example, it can become very. When we look at a similar journey of the Prophet Muhammad, what we see, he one by one leaves all his relatives with him. In his case, they die. It's more maybe extreme dramatic, and his training was maybe preparing him for something bigger. He leaves everyone behind one by one. The last the trial is with time. He goes there with the hope that there will be some people there who would support him. He goes there, return empty-handed, even worse than that, right? Stoning. After that, his journey for Miraj starts. So like in your journey, your family, your friends, your community, right? The believers, like his family, is not, the bad people or anything. They will, they join you, accompany you in your journey. Yes, we will say we believers, right? We Muslims, right? In certain places. But when it comes to then facing with the revelation, when it comes to receiving the guidance, right? In Musa alayhi salam's case, reaching to the conviction of his creator of his Rabb. This is something personal. You have to do it by yourself. You cannot say that we discussed with you, brother Yusuf. Now we believe there's no such thing. Whether you believe it or not, whether you have this conviction or not. When it comes to conviction, when it comes to iman, you need to leave everyone, including your closest, behind. It's something personal in that sense. But again, they will accompany you in your journey. They will help you. They will show you examples, good examples, bad examples, right? Sometimes, as learning us, sometimes we will be family. Somebody else will receive guidance, reach the conviction, and then, as Musa did, bring it back to us. But then, again, we need to take it, validate, understand, and it will become your conviction. You cannot have the Moses conviction. It has to be yours. So when Moses comes back, his wife will do this journey herself. Children will do it themselves.
In this regard, going back to the example with Miraj, when Prophet ﷺ came back from Miraj, he came back with the prayer and said that this is going to be your Miraj, meaning you need to go to your Miraj individually. Even when we do congregational prayer, still you do your prayer, the person right next to you does their prayer. Yes, we do say we seek help, we worship you, but the conviction part, the fire that you have in your hand is going to be that personal fire.
Imam Mursi's interpretation of this we that we studied in Surah Fatiha, I think even the narration he shares is so elegant. Why? Because he starts with, he says, just like I pray and recite this, the people next to me also recites. But it starts from himself. First, you have to understand that you are a worshiper, and then extend it that, oh, just like I worship, they also worship. You cannot start with we worship, because then there won't be any understanding of what you mean to worship. First, have a personal connection, and then going back to this self-sufficiency thing. It's just the other way around, right? Especially in Muhammad Wasalam's story, it's so obvious. He starts with the understanding that I'm not enough. If he thought he was enough, he wouldn't go to life or someone else.
Self-sufficient.
Exactly. If he thought he was self-sufficient, he would say, oh, who cares? No matter what they say, I'm good. I have my creator. No, he says, I'm not good. I cannot do it. But then he tries, quote unquote, to get support from other creatures. And then he's trained that, no, don't take the support from other creatures. Take it from your creator. So in the Prophet's life, it's a special example because we can understand that the Prophet couldn't rely on any creature at all. In our case, we are in the gray zone, right? But that's the target, right? Just the opposite of the self-sufficiency. Saying that, no, I'm not sufficient, neither anyone else is sufficient, no, nothing in the creation can help me. Only by creating.
So, and in this regard, then the fire would be in our lives. We are going to see fire that seems unknown, warm, light, but also burning, like many question marks in there. But this is there. I am hopeful that I'm going to find Haber, a news, Huda, guidance, or going to bring some sort of a piece of this fire so that it's going to warm me up. Like it's going to be useful for me in my personal life. And I guess in this regard, in my life, in my journey, whatever is going to be put before in my life. Again, going back with our initial orientation, understanding, in marriage, my orientation led me somewhere. Likewise, due to my orientation, initial mindset when I get into the path, the events in life are going to start speaking to me in different ways. I might see a job as, oh, good job opportunity. I'm going to shine in this new place. Might be one way to take it. Another way to take it could be my sustainer is now employing me, educating me, or training me in this new environment, new job setup, new society, new friends around it. Let's see what does my creator teach me in this new environment. How am I going to get to know my sustainer in this new environment? If this is my perspective, this is what I will start reading from there. But if my perspective is, how can I shine in this new environment, then I'm going to become a slave of capitalism and I will try to work harder to publish more, to this or that more. That would be my fire, which will keep consuming me, burning me. That would be what I take out of it. So really, again, depending on my mindset, my orientation with my doing. So now comes, now Musa alayhi salam is by the fire. We come to here now. فلما أتاها نودي من شاطئ الوادي الأيمن في البقعة المباركة من الشجرة أي يا موسى إني أنا الله رب العالمين. But when he came close to it, a call was sounded from the right side bank of the valley, out of the tree on the blessed ground. O Moses, indeed, I am God, the sustainer of all the worlds. Rabbul Alamin. This is from Surah Al-Qasas. This one is being a little quickly passed over in Surah Al-Qasas. It's a little shorter, but it is way more detailed in Surah Taha. So I would like to mention the part in Surah Taha as well. فَلَمَّا آتَاهَا نُودِيَ يَا مُوسَى. When he went by the fire, where he said, oh Moses, إِنِّي أَنَا رَبُّكَ فَاخْلَعْنَ عَلَيْكَ. Indeed, I am your Rabb. Indeed, I am your sustainer. Take off then your shoes. إِنَّكَ بِالْوَادِ الْمُقَدَّسِ طُوَى. Behold, indeed you are in the sacred valley of Tuwa. وَأَنَا اخْتَرْتُكَ فَاسْتَمِعْ لِمَا يُوحَى. And I have chosen you. Listen then to what is being revealed. إِنَّنِي أَنَا اللَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا أَنَا فَاعْبُدْنِي وَأَقِمِ الصَّلَاةَ لِذِكْرِي. Verily I alone am God. There is no deity other than me. Therefore, worship me alone and be constant in prayer so as to remember me. Like this, as far as I understand, Surah Taha is really expanding what is being shortly mentioned in the single verse here. And let's focus on Inni ana Allahu Rabbul Alamin. This is from Surah Al-Qasas. Inni ana Allahu Rabbul Alamin. So he started his journey with seeking his Lord. He was in constant conversation with his Rabb. And now a fire that he observes, from the fire speaks to him, his Rabb, the one that he was seeking for, speaks to him. If you seek for your Lord in your journey, then in events in life, you will start hearing that your Creator is, your Sustainer is speaking to you. What could happen the other way around? If I am living a life in which a lot of things happen by themselves, it's chance, anything can happen. A crazy president could say this and that, and tomorrow you find bombs up on your head. May Allah protect. So if I'm living in such a world, then when the bombs come, I would say, what do you expect? Crazy people, crazy outcome, right? It's chance, or it is somebody's craziness. But if in my journey, because war is a fire, literally, but in my journey, if I take out to the journey, being in constant conversation with my sustainer, having the perspective that I am being sustained so far, I am being watched over. Nothing is random in this life. So is not this fire, this war. What does my Lord, my sustainer, speak from the fire? Says, indeed, I am the Lord of everything else, not only you. I am also the Lord of this fire. I am the Lord of your family ties, your job, whatever it is. Your sustainer is the sustainer of all. This is what the event will start speaking to me. So it's not like I am a byproduct or unintentional, what do they say? Collateral damage in the war. Maybe from the point of view of those who declare war, I am a collateral damage. But from the perspective of my Lord, I am directly intended to be in interaction with this fire. Because my Creator speaks to me from the fire, through the fire, telling me a message saying that, indeed, Inni ana Allahu Rabbul Alameen. Interestingly, the detail is being opened up a little more in Surah Taha. The conversation is not that direct. It starts by saying, Inni ana Rabbuk. Indeed, I am your Lord. Because Musa was speaking to whom initially? He was speaking to his Lord. Like so far, we have seen 21, 22, 24 verses. He was always speaking to Rabbi, Rabbi, Rabbi. Now, his Rabb speaks to him saying that, Inni ana Rabbuk. Indeed, I am your sustainer. Like, even in the events that happen in life, it's not an external event. But as I interact with the event itself, do I see my sustainer speaking to me through the event, saying that, oh, as we were mentioning, oh, from this event, Allah tells me this and that, right? Let's specify it more. My sustainer, my Rabb speaks this and that. I am now replacing the word Allah with Rabb, because Allah is going to come later. Rabb comes first. This is how I know him in the first place. Eventually, Inni Allahu la ilaha illa will come. The name Allah will come later on, because it's a more general sense. Pretty much like, just as a metaphor. Up until a certain age, you don't know your mom's name. Her name is just Mom. Because she's your sustainer. Mom means sustainer. This is how you get to your mom first. Eventually, then you realize, oh, people have names. And she's not only, sustainer, she's also an artist as a job, or also a daughter herself. Like, you start learning more about your mom over time, and then your mom's proper name becomes an identifier for all of them. So Allah is this identifier, the umbrella name, if you like, for all those qualities. how do you know how do you know him the first? You are being sustained. You have a sustainer, and this sustainer is not your genes, your I don't know, family history, this or that. Your sustainer is sustained, and you are going to be sure of it in certain events. And now he's becoming sure of it in this certain event of this reaching to the fire. Like, do you ever felt like you leave something in your life? I mean, some stupid example, but it's so interesting in my life. One day I was in college, and I was going to like I left my home and I was walking from a narrow like passage to get to the bus, and I saw some pickle juice can thrown there, and I from my heart I said, "Oh, if only there was this pickle juice." I loved it, but of course, student life, it was luxury. Like we didn't have it in student housing. I went to school, came back home. Somebody from his hometown brought pickle juice, but it's homemade. I said, "Oh Allah, why didn't I ask for paradise?" I didn't even sound the word. I just asked for pickle juice, and now here's the pickle juice. So in such moments, what do you say? My sustainer, there is a sustainer of mine who heard even my unspoken words. Like he's so close to me that it passed through my heart because I just saw it there. In such moments, you say, Rabbi, and now he's speaking back to you saying that indeed, I am your Lord. I am your sustainer. See, I'm bringing you pickle juice, like something as simple as a pickle juice. Any comments? So this is the part that I wanted to highlight first. Conversation started with Rab, because his journey was for Rab. And now his Rab is speaking back to him. And again, let's take this. I really like how Brother Birkan tied this to Mi'raj. So journey, like Mi'raj in prophets, it was prophet's night journey, Isra. And then Mi'raj was his ascension. This is Musa alayhi salam's ascension that's taking place here. He has been having this journey. It was not a nightly journey. It was years-long journey. Likewise, Prophet's Mi'raj was not necessarily a single night's event. It was the culmination of that event. There was a Sufi Sheikh, prior Sufi Sheikh, later scholar, who mentioned that actually in Prophet's life, there's not only a single Mi'raj. He said there are more than 40 Mi'raj, which might be even more. But just to make the point, your life is becoming this Mi'raj journey, and you are reaching somewhere, speaking to your Creator, as it was the case in Prophet's Mi'raj as well. He went through this school of prophets, talked to them, and eventually had a conversation one-on-one with his Creator. Likewise, Musa alayhi salam is having his Mi'raj here, having a one-on-one conversation with his Lord. In your life, you're going to go through events. Eventually, it's going to look like, I don't know, simple pickle juice come from somebody's phone. But then, if you search for it, you will start hearing your sustainer speaking to you through pickle juice, saying that indeed I am your Lord.
Again, with the analogy to the Miraj, in the Prophet's line, we see that the first dimension is his personal journey. Right? He takes this personal journey, receive revelation, and then comes back to the other people to share the revelation. Musa alayhi salam in the same way starts with Rabbi, my Rabb, like he's looking for guidance for himself, first and foremost. Like the best analogy, like they keep giving it in the airplanes. When something bad happens, you are supposed to put the oxygen mask first yourself and then the children. Otherwise, both of you will die. Right? If you want to save your children, first put the oxygen mask to yourself. Right? If you say that, oh no, I'm so merciful, I will try to put it to my children, you will kill for them because your oxygen will not be enough to put the mask. So anyway, well, maybe it's not the best analogy, but it's a good one. The same way it starts with Milo Rock because he needs guidance. Receives the guidance, and when he receives the guidance, it becomes Rabbul Alamin. Now he will take the message, revelation, and make it known to the entire creation. Rabbul Alamin.
And like after getting inni ana rabbuk, then وَأَنَا اخْتَرْتُكَ فَاسْتَمِعْ لِمَا يُوحَى, like here prophethood is coming at verse number 13, but at verse number 12, he is receiving revelation to himself as a guidance to himself first and foremost. After the revelation is loaded on him, إِنَّنِي أَنَا اللَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا إِلَّهِ. Now the Creator is expressing himself as Allah, like not only your Lord, but Lord of everything and also sustainer, provider, all-knowing, all-wise. Now Revelation starts speaking. But it started with this personal conversation, personal journey, personal seeking of the Creator.
And this is a perfect balance. Like when you think about the other alternatives, sometimes we say, oh, I'm trying to save myself. I don't have time to help others, especially when it comes to belief matters, right? So, who am I? I first need to fix myself. And then you leave the other, the words, island. Or you start from the reverse and say that I will save the world. Without even, correcting yourself, I will save the world. So with these, we see the perfect balance. Yes, your journey needs to will start with your personal guidance. First, ask guidance for yourself. Correct yourself, but while doing so, don't forget the one who gives you guidance is the one who guides others as well. So you can be part of this guidance to others as well. Not with your efforts, but just being part of it. You will give guidance to others as well, but just be mirrors for this guidance.
And in the case of like the metaphor that was given here, as I take it as metaphor at this point, Musa alayhi salam is first experiencing the fire and then saying that maybe I will bring some of it to you. Like he's not bringing the unknown, untouched to them. He experiences it, says that this is safe, this is good for them, and then brings it to them, or receives a news from them and shares with the family. So this is another thing about it. How much can you share with another person? Not any more than your own conviction. So you can only burn, it's going to be a little bit poetic, but as much as you are burnt. Like you cannot burn any more than you yourself is burned or get afflicted by this warmth of the fire. So there's an interesting part. We have 7 more minutes, which means another 2 minutes. So, Inni ana rabbuk, after this, indeed I am your Lord, comes a very interesting word. Fakhla'na alayk. Take off your shoes. Innaka bilwadi al-muqaddasi tuwa. Behold, you are in the sacred valley of Tuwa. What does that mean? Like from the fire, this is what he is hearing that his sustainer tells him. Just take off your shoes. What does a shoe mean? Why would you take off your shoes? What is that?
Respect. Like
Respect?
a lot of cultures, like when you are entering a clean or a more pure place, like mosque, for example, you must we take off our shoes. So it's like in Islam, if you're entering a pure place, in order to prevent it's getting dirty, impurities, you're asked to like, and because our feet actually just touch the ground and collect all of the dirt from everywhere. So taking off the shoes can be like, maybe it's like a metaphor for like, um, maybe like repent or like, don't have like, just like leave the worries or the impurities behind and enter into this pure land or something.
Okay, very good, very good. So, but as if he was in a valley already, and now the Creator says this is a pure, clean valley, like Muqaddas, it's pure, it's already clean, so you don't need these shoes, take them off. So, but what does this signify in our lives? Like, if now I apply it to, because it shouldn't really be about the soil itself. Like, is the soil, for example, in the Haram region of Kaaba, is it less bacteria than anywhere else? And of course, the Haram kept widening as well. Like what used to be a Haram at the time of Prophet probably was just this much of it. Now, if you go there, you need to take off your shoes 2 miles away just to get into the masjid. Like as if the sacred place is getting widened. So it's not necessarily about the physical location itself, I guess we can say that. But what makes it pure and clean then? Same with the events in life. Now, if I'm going to apply this to myself, what's going to be impure initially in my perception because I'm with my shoes there, but then my Creator will say that this event is clean and pure, so take off your shoes. Yet interaction with this event, it would be finding a new job, moving to another place, being part of a war. My Creator says, take off your shoes. Indeed, you are in this pure valley. What purifies it? What makes something pure? What makes Masjid al-Haram pure?
I guess because as soon as the revelation starts, like as soon as the conversation is when the purity kind of starts, I guess. Like when you are, like you said, it may not refer to like physical like purity because he was there. And then the revolution starts, and then he's instructed to take off his shoes while he's there before. So I think it's like as soon as you are in the conversation with your sustainer, it's now the time where you show respect, like I said, or you leave behind your guard. It's like you leave behind the barrier between you and like I don't know, the purity or something, and you're also in a place to receive. I think maybe.
Okay. So does you have something there?
First there it looks like there's something mentioned.
Okay. The name says purity comes from the relation with the Creator. Purity comes from the relation with the Creator. Very good points. Yeah.
I was just, I guess, reminded of the prophets that follow and then reaction to the initial revelation, which was to like cover himself. And then like the revelation related to that was to stand and rise up and like remove, I guess I take it as removing that covering or the barrier, like Aisha just mentioned. So I guess like maybe sometimes my reaction might be to like keep my guard up or even just like hide from it because it's something that maybe scares me a bit. Like it feels like the task, I guess I'm getting ahead of myself, but especially the task for Musa alayhi salam was pretty big, even though but like in my life too, like maybe these interactions make me feel a bit like I want to hide sometimes, but it's saying like there's nothing to fear, you're already in a safe place.
Like for example, Let's take the case of a war. And an innocent child is being killed before you. It's a very ugly scene. It's a despicable thing. But now our creator saying that, no, this is a pure and clean thing. If I look at it as the act of the bad guy, it's an ugly act, right? Somebody really intended to harm someone. What message can I get out of this, right? But there is also a message of my creator to me through this event. As Fahim was saying, when I look at the event as it relates to my sustainer, now I am entering a pure territory. And I'm going to give an example again from Musa alayhi salam, as Quran gives us in his journey with the wise man. The wise man murders a child. Musa alayhi salam protests. Why did you kill the child? Eventually, at the end of the story, now the truth is being revealed, and now the pure could see the clean parts, the truth behind is being revealed later on. So initially, when Musa alayhi salam in that story was interacting with the event, he just sees it as apparently injustice. Why did you murder the child? It was an innocent child. But now the Qadar perspective, what did the creator will by making this? Because the wise man was, in that story, was just executing the creator's command. It was creator's will, pretty much. We can take it as, okay, what does a villain want to get out by murdering a child? It's a separate story. But what does the creator will through this hand is a separate story. This is what al-Muqaddasi Tuwa, like the pure valley of Tuwa is, when you look at it as your sustainer is in action now. What did my creator mean by that? And then you see the clean, pure message of it. Still, this doesn't mean that I'm going to forgive the villain who wanted to kill the guy. That guy was a horrible guy. He did a horrible job on his end. But what does my creator tell me from this fire? My sustainer tell me from this fire? When you get through there, you take off your shoes. There's nothing dirty in here. There's nothing dirty in Hamza radiallahu anh being murdered by Rakshi radiallahu anh. You do observe that it was pure beginning to end. What was ugly? The ugly thing was initial ill intention of Rakshi. This was the dirty part of it, but this is referring to the Rakshi in that moment. But what did my sustainer will and speak to me through this event? This is a territory which is pure and clean. Take off your shoes. This is a very beautiful way of actually looking at the existence itself, because every existence is an act of my creator. And when I see it as the act of my sustainer, who is also the sustainer of everything, this is a pure and clean zone. But uglinesses stay there. Uglinesses stay on the perspective of individuals that pertains to their choice, not the all-encompassing choice or the will of the creator. So this is what al-Muqaddasi Tuwa, take off your shoes once you get to there. Any comments or?
There's a phrase in English that in my shoes, like don't judge me, you are not in my shoes. This reminded me that phrase in a sense, like in the other part of the story, we will see. The creator asked about his asa, the stick as well, right?
Yeah, next week.
And he starts talking about it. I do, this and that with my stick, etc. And then Peter says, throw it. In the same way as if, like, now you are receiving this guidance, leave everything, whatever carried you here, your shoes, leave them behind. You are you're starting from zero now. You're starting it clean. Nothing from your previous life will enter here, kind of.
So, and I mean, this verse, "Innani ana Allahu la ilaha illa ana," is really, and every single letter of this phrase is so strong. I feel like this would really shake not only Musa alayhi salam, but shake the mountain. Like, it's such a strong statement, such an emphasis. Like, indeed, I alone am God. There is no deity other than me. But that certainty is how his creator spoke to him through the events. That means what I'm taking out of this, the events in life, if I pay attention to them, actually my creator speaks through them to me with that certainty. I can reach, like sometimes in YouTube, there are those Dava videos, right? What's your proof for God? Type of a debates, right? In events in life, that level of certainty, my creator speaks to me with this certainty, but do I hear it? Musa alayhi salam heard this after his journey. At some point of his journey, the creator was always speaking with that certainty, but he get to the point of hearing this at some point in his journey. Otherwise, the whole creation, as Quran mentions, is praising the creator, but we do not hear them. I do not hear them. Not because I cannot, but because I didn't get into the journey. I didn't get the training to hear them. So in the events of life, there is this certainty, Inni anallahu la ilaha illa ana, is being spoken. Once I hear this, ta'budni wa aqim as-salata li dhikri. Therefore, once you hear this, therefore immediately worship me, but nobody else. Worship me alone. And وَأَقِمِ الصَّلَاةَ لِذِكْرِي, be constant in prayer so as to remember me. So inshallah, we will conclude here. Any concluding remarks, comments, questions? Inshallah, next week we will be starting with the stuff of Musa alayhi salam. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة.